So last week, oh, there's another one. There's TJ. Oh my God, there's lots of people coming today, which is great. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Hey TJ, the Rock Doc.
Hey there.
Hey, how are you, man? What's up?
Good.
Yeah, nice to talk to you. This is being recorded. I hope you don't mind. Just saying it up front.
Well,
Um,
let me put my makeup on.
yeah, if you don't mind, maybe
And
brush
and
your
your
hair.
shirt and your shirt,
Yeah,
please.
yeah. He always likes to come to these calls. But yeah, so
I'm
so
not wearing a shirt.
I know.
I don't
Dude, it's
blame you.
100 degrees here, man.
Oh my God. Yeah, so this is the second expansion meeting. It's cool, and it has already expanded in numbers. There was only three of us last week, and now there's seven, maybe more. So thank you. I just at the start, I just want to introduce you to Arthur Stapasoli, who's in Brazil, and he's head of software development. He's running all of the different features that are being built and planned, and he's basically working 24 hours a day, keeping the grid alive, which is great. Nice to see you, TJ. All right. Um, so yeah, and then Michael Welk is in Germany. Jeff is in America. Maria's in America. Neil is in France. Arthur, Brazil. TJ, America. So thank you all for coming today. I really appreciate it. And also, this is a community thing. So like, if you think it needs to be done differently, just please let me know because like we're kind of making it up as we're going along in many ways. So I guess just to start, last week we passed the 2,000 hearts connected. We're now on about 2,300 connected hearts, which is just fantastic. Like, so we've done like 12 software releases so far. Hey, Christopher. Christopher's in Switzerland. He's an Englishman in Switzerland. This is cool. Um, so yeah, so we've done around 12 software releases, and there's many more in the pipeline. So I guess just if we were to start at the very top, and I have just a brief agenda, just to basically remind everybody that we're here, just to basically expand the grid, to improve it, to make it easier, to make it more intuitive, to get more people to use it. And we're very, very grateful that you're all giving your time. So thank you. In our call last week, and in the days around our call, we talked about, the beginning of the charter of the grid, because a few people have said, "Have you got a charter?" And I was like, "What do you need one of them for?" And they were like, "To actually say, this is what the grid is for. This is what it does. This is the intention behind it. This is the promise of the grid." And that's something that we are currently working on, and I'll share with everybody to get their feedback and their opinions on it. But it's simple, it will never be commercialized. It will never run advertising. It will never be sponsored by. It will never be anything other than a way for all of us just to take a moment to connect into our hearts and then to expand that out beyond ourselves, which, so it's going to be a really short charter. We have also begun working on a few cool new features, one of which will be released this week, which is the grid for groups. In that, we found that people are using it in groups, but there's no way to actually show that on the map. So in the next couple of days, when you're joining, you'll be asked, are you on your own or are you with people? And you can select up to 10 people to join. And then when you do that, Arthur's done something really cool in that, basically the dot will be bigger. So if you are 10 people, the dot will be really big. If you're one person, it will be the current size it is right now. So that's basically in the process. We have also been advised by, he's not here today. He might come in now in a second. But basically, somebody suggested actually Gail, who's just come on the phone now, she's in Paris at the moment. And thanks for joining, Gail, because I know that you're in the middle of a lot of family stuff. So thanks for taking the time. But we spoke several months ago about a mini grid, the idea of a mini
Hi,
grid.
Stephen. Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah, I can hear you, Gail. Yeah, you're online. Gail's from England and
Okay.
is in Paris at the moment. So we are recording this call if you don't mind. Um, so yeah, so we have been playing with the idea of the mini grid, but up until yesterday, it didn't really have a good
Yeah,
form
no,
or a
no
good
problem. Nice to
or
meet
a
you.
height. But so basically, what the mini grid will be, I'm just going to put you on mute, Gail, if that's okay. So basically, what the mini grid will be a way for you to create your own grid. So the grid will broadcast 2 times a day. We're going to bring back in the time zone specific grid because we've been told by lots of people outside of Europe and the States that, sometimes the time is not a very good time for them. It could be like 6:11 in the morning, or it could be, like 8 p.m. at night, and it just may not work for them. So it's going to still broadcast 2 times a day, but then it's also going to have time zone specific broadcast. So it will broadcast at 11:11 in your local time zone. You will also have the option to join the global broadcast, which will go 2 times a day. But now you're going to have the ability to create your own mini grid. So Michael, for example, will go onto the grid. It will be very simple, very, very intuitive, using as few words as possible, which I think is the sign of good design when you don't have to explain it too much. And you will create a mini grid and it will generate a code for you. You'll then share that code with people who you want to join Michael's mini grid. And when they join it, you'll be essentially creating that grid to share your own group intention. And what that intention is around is entirely up to you. It has nothing got to do with the grid, like, because we don't want to be saying, well, you should be doing this or you should be doing that. It's completely up to you. And I think we will find that as more mini grids are created, it'll be very lovely to see, how they're being used. I'm sure it'll be for sending healing energy to somebody's mother who's in hospital, or to send energy to something else or to a conflict that's happening in the world. But again, the grid has to stay like totally independent, and it's just creating the facility for you to use yourself. So it could be with your families, your friends, it could be a retreat, it could be a yoga studio that want to do a weekly grid get together. The second feature is spread the love. And so basically the grid has basically two parts. You have the live broadcast, and then you also have the Heart Amplification Centre. And when you go into the Heart Amplification Center, it's a way for you to go inward, to actually go into your own heart, really, really simply. And the way to do that is by doing three things. One is to remember a feeling of love, to actually remember it here and actually type it into the interface, which is completely secure and anonymous, and pulse that out into the grid. The second is to do an act of love, which is actually really fun. And I'm seeing lots of people, around me are doing more acts of love. They're maybe giving a few extra quid to somebody who is homeless in the street, or they're basically doing something nice. And it feels good when people do good things. And then when somebody sees somebody do a good thing, it makes them feel really good as well. So it has this really nice kind of knock-on effect. And then the third thing is to have a feeling of gratitude. Gratitude is so important. Like, thank you for this. Thank you for my arms and my legs. Thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for whatever it is you're grateful for. And when you do those things, it puts you into a different kind of heart-based kind of awareness. But we've now decided to expand on from that as well, because the first part is to internalize it into your own heart. But then you'll have the option in an upcoming release where you can then spread that love. So you can essentially then send a message of love out into the grid, and it will be received by all of the users who are currently using the grid. So they'll see a message from Emma or from Maria in Texas, sending a message from her heart out into the hearts of everybody else using the grid. It's not a social media thing. You won't be able to contact Maria because it's all anonymous. It will just say a person in Texas, or a heart in Texas. It will be multi-language, and then we will ultimately have a wave kind of ticker tape that will go across the end of the homepage countdown, which will show all of the displays of love that have been that have been projected out from the Heart Amplification Centre. We will have to moderate them as well, just to basically make sure that they're in line with, things that people want to see. We're also expanding massively into the working with the musicians of the world. I had mentioned that we're working with this really famous musician, Nicholas Jarre, who's just an incredibly famous electronic music producer, working with people like Jeff Cozy. We have like 5 or 6 other people who have given us music for the grid that I know that Arthur has the whole thing built, and he's just going, when do we go live? And I'm like, when we have the music, because we need to get the music, we need to build the profiles of the people who are basically contributing their music to the grid. But in one of the next releases, we're going to be at a point where, you'll be able to change the music. So you can listen to, more electronic or more Celtic or more whatever type of music it is you want to listen to. And then the second phase of that will be replacing the current, or to give the user the option, because we just want to give the users as many options as they can. And what might feel right for me, or what Jeff might think is really nice, or what Christopher might love up there in Switzerland, may not resonate with Arthur in Brazil. So we just want to give people the ability to change their grid experience while keeping the core of it simple, go from the mind into the heart, a mechanical process. But maybe the music might be better served if it's, let's say, something else. So that's being worked on as well. We have also massively improved how we're logging the hearts when they connect, because the grid looks really simple, but I think maybe Arthur had a lot more hair on his head before he built this, because it has been very, very challenging to grab all of the live connections when they come in, put them on the map in a really, really detailed way while keeping it really simple. And we only have 9 minutes to do this, because when people join it, we only have 9 minutes to log, to collect, and to display, while keeping it fully above board. Every heart on that list is a real heart, so it has been very, very challenging in the past, like, several months to get that. But, we have the counting of the hearts is now a work of art, from a technical perspective. So that's it from the kind of product update on the update chat we had last week. Is there anything anybody would like to say at this point, or?
The music, Stephen.
Yes.
I use music to juice up my emotion, intention, and projection. Amazing things have happened using music as a tool.
What type of music?
I've got a couple of go-to songs that I use at the moment. I do change them quite a lot, but it's something that definitely I use to fill my heart and create some magic now and then, spontaneously.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Well, actually, Jeff is the man to talk to. Like, he's been making healing music for like how long, Jeff? Or can I, like, 20, 30, 40, 50 years? A lot. So
150 years now, I think.
150 years. Good, very good.
Nice.
Yeah, cool. So we see that music's a big thing. Hey, Maria.
I just wanted to say hello and thank you for including me today.
Yeah.
I have been downloading the app and watching the videos, and I'm really grateful to be here and of service if I can contribute in any way possible.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And what I'm loving about this grid expansion is it's proof of the grid in action. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's actual proof of people wanting to come together, to share, to help, to contribute. So it's wonderful, and you are very welcome. And actually, Maria is a really talented artist, and she was connected through a friend of a friend. And I think we have a lot to talk about with actually the coloring of the grid, and this is something I wanted to talk to you about, and we can have another chat about it. But when you look at the grid, it's in black and white, but you have almost like a very small halo around the Earth. And
Mhm.
basically, Arthur is going to be able to program that halo to display color. So it'd be
Yeah.
like looking at the Northern Lights, or something like that. And it's going to be programmed so that when more people use it, it will start to like change. It will start to morph around the Earth. And then ultimately, when the grid is in a stronger position, it will hold, a really beautiful color. So if you could think around that, that'd be wonderful,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I was using it and trying to experience intuitively, knowing nothing, like
Yeah.
I felt a very beautiful experience. I understand phase one, phase two, phase 100, the evolution of like an experience of that kind. And I think it's part of the beauty of it is to really explore what's happening organically, and all that can be incorporated into the experience.
Yeah.
I started to hear voice, maybe a voice that could be there, or colors, but I love the simplicity in this time where everything is so complex and exhausting, honestly. I
Must be
like
fun.
the idea of something beautiful, but kind of like mysteriously simple and accessible
Yeah.
to the heart. Like it's literally a movement, like it's a line, it's like from here to here.
Yeah.
So how this design is coming through it, to me, like the circle, the lines, the halo, like all this is very powerful, but it's not too complex in the use. That's, my take.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And yeah, sorry, go on, Michael. Yeah, sorry.
I would say I read a book, actually 4 books 4 months ago, and in these books are explained that on Earth we have different fields. For example, we have one field of war, one field of fear, and one field of love and heart coherence. And it was explained very beautifully. And I think if you look at this project from an energetic point of view, for example, if we take the field of love, if you tap into that field, you will have more love, and the field have more love. And if you go out of it and are in a rage situation, whatever, because somebody was bumping into you, whatever, you're out of it and you are in a different field. But generally speaking, everything on Earth has a field. Yoga has a field, whatever. So, but the rules are, if you connect to the field gets stronger and you get stronger with the quality of the field. So if we have one day, not 2,500, but maybe 50,000 or 200,000 or 2 million people in the call, and I think this will happen, then we have a very strong, powerful field for the Earth itself. And I think this is one of the end ways I see this project going. And I think it's important that people understand this mechanics of a field. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. In fact, actually, myself and Neil were only talking about that fields today again. Like some people call it the unified field, or whatever that field is. But when you're in it, you're in it. And
Yeah.
would that be like, how Maharishi Mahesh, they did the experiment in the 60s with the Beatles and all that, where they did focused transcendental meditation. And they were able to witness like changes in statistics around crime and around happiness and all the things that they were measuring. And then they did it again in Washington in the 80s or the 90s. I know I'm quite vague on these numbers, but they saw crime rate plummeting. They saw,
Yeah, I can say something that it was in a critical area of one big city, and they were focusing only of this area, not of the rest of the city. So
yes.
only in the danger zones,
Yeah.
and the statistic went down. And then there is this other method called the power of eight, where no eight, you need 8 people to connect to something and concentrate on something. I think you're aware of that.
Yeah.
But it is similar, and it's not 8, but maybe 2 million. And
The
so
power of
this
2
is,
million.
yeah, it is because of the technology.
Yeah.
You cannot put 2 million people in one Zoom call.
No.
But with the grid, you are able to connect 2 million people in on one point.
Yes.
So I think this is the idea behind it, beside all the technology, color, and whatever you name it. But what I like it, if you do a little your own zone, so you're explaining that there's this opportunity to create a little zone for yourself, for healing, for heal a person or whatever you name it. This can be powerful, also very powerful. But I think this is just a side dish, to me.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
great,
Yeah.
and it's a side dish, but it's not the main thing. The main thing is to have raise the consciousness of the planet, and especially from today to Sunday is a very powerful astrological constellation. So it's good that we meet today, not yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's all perfectly synchronized, Michael. Thank you. And in fact, actually, maybe just in honor of the power of 8, like right now with the grid groups, you have the option to select up to 10 people, but maybe that should be up to 8 people, just as a kind of tip of the hat to the power of 8. No? No, okay, that's fine. Is there anything you're seeing in the product right now that you think is a problem, or that should be changed, or that we could improve on, or like in the overall experience that you or people have had?
I'd say I'd recommend 12 or
12?
13. If you could add 12 others,
Yeah, okay,
I
that's
feel
fine.
like that feels an octave.
Better number, yes.
Yeah. Where I agree with 8 is an octave, and that gets it. But then you
But
add the
then you are
black
here.
keys with the 12.
Yeah, but if you take 8, you're too much connected to this power of 8 thing, and it's a tricky
Yeah.
thing. But if you say
Well,
12, you have 12 star signs, and everything is 12. So
yeah. Right. I think that's a completion thing is what I'm saying.
yeah,
Going
it
on to
is.
8s makes
It
it
is.
yeah, yeah.
12 is great.
And then if we're getting into 5, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, you add 12, that's 13. You're in the 5 ratio still. So, okay.
This is amazing, TJ. Yes, of course. So, but then
Great job, Stephen, aligning the constellations and everything
I
for
know, I
this
know.
meeting and everything. Way
It's
to go.
only Wednesday, dude. It's only Wednesday.
Yeah, you must have had to make some calls for that one.
Yeah. No, what I am finding is that everybody who needs to be here is always here, which is wonderful, which is proof that it's going the right way, that, if people like, who I massively respect, every one of you, and the fact that you're even giving time to this is just proof that we're on the right path. But if we were to simplify everything you've just said down, and that's the job, is to simplify it, just 12. If we change it to 12, yeah. Because I do understand what you're saying, but you say that to most people and they become just 12 though, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I think that's a great idea to add that, because that's encouraging for little groups. I love that idea.
Yeah.
Because I've tried to, like, hey, there's this thing going on, because I've been in places, still trying to navigate the app and stuff, where people have been like, hey, I want to do this meditation or whatever. And I'd be like, hey, I got an app for that. So that'd be super easy if we could just like open that up, add 12 people and add that in and start feeding it in that sense. That seems like a great idea. So I really like that idea.
Okay, cool.
And that's going to help spread the word too. That's I'd say that's the best way to market or advertise in that sense, is that if you have people doing it and be like, hey, you want to do this heart meditation quick? Let's add this group of people and do it together. And then that's like better than any kind of ad or marketing that you could do, is just to get people firsthand, to have people experience it. You know what I mean? If I'm in a place and I add, maybe there's only 9 people there, out of the 12 that you add that, each one of them just got like the best kind of advertising and awareness for this app that you can have and doing it there. So I think that's a great idea.
Cool.
How about like a smaller group as well, under 12 maybe?
Yeah, you can have it up to 12.
If
Like you,
I'm on the fly, I am using the app
Or you can do it
up
with
to
four
12.
people
Yeah,
as
okay.
well. So it's limited to 12, and it's you can do it with 3 people or 4 or 5 people, right?
do you think we should limit the group size? Because when I so my idea of the or the idea of 10, which went to 8, which is now 12, thanks TJ. That was just when you're joining the global broadcast, it just says how many people are you? Is it just you or are you with 11, other friends to get to 12? But that's a separate thing than creating your own mini grid. And
Yes, because you don't want to be connected to the timetable of the grid itself. You
yeah,
want to have your own timing, and there are many groups out there who are very connected, and they can say, okay, now let's do it once in a week to connect only on the heart level with this help of this technology, and they can do it then, So, yeah, Jeffrey.
I brought up the idea last week with Neil Num. I don't know how many of you got to see the video about at some point getting it so it's back on the computer and not just on the phone, so that it can be used as a group. Like if you had a yoga class, we could put it on a big screen
Jay.
and show it. Or if you went, I mentioned nursing homes where they're not going to have a cell phone or anything like that, where you could bring people into a heart center as a group in the grid and have 20 or 30 people sitting there and having that 10-minute heart-based thing, which these are the people who really need it the most. A lot of us who are tuned in and meditate every day, it's a nice, pocket thing to carry around with us. But there's a lot of the people, if we could get into groups, and this is something that's probably not going to happen next week, but I mean, um, doing things on the web. And the other thing I brought up was that the people who are here in the founding group, and if we would like to be able to communicate with each other, to have a link not on the phone per se, but a link maybe on the phone to a point on the website where if you want to promote what you do, Michael or Arthur or any of us, about what we do, there's a contact there if you want to share with our fellow founders.
Yeah, Jeff, thank you for that. And I completely forgot about that. A link on the website for everybody to be able to share. Yeah, thank you. That's now back in on the list. Thank you. And also, I forgot as well about the care home idea that came out of last week. But then I spoke to a lady today in Iceland, and she has a system that they're using in hospitals and nursing homes and care homes and hospices to help people to, relax. And I think it might be even a VR headset as well. But when I was speaking to her today, I brought the idea up of what about the grid inside a hospital? And she said that would be amazing. She could literally go to them tomorrow with it, but it's just a few small technical changes. But I think maybe the mini grid is that, because you can just create the mini grid called St. John of God's Hospital, Dublin, Ireland, and that's where they go when they're coming together. That's cool. That's fantastic.
I like when you said maybe there's no limit to the number. After, of course, it's like Arturo have to make the code for it, but it does, it's a beautiful principle to just let it open to
Yeah.
any number, because I mean, if there is two systems, the mini grid plus the, let's say, the spontaneous, I'm on here and then I want to invite three of my friends that are available right now, or I want to include my mother who is sick, whatever. I have this flexibility in numbers, and if I want to spread the word to 100 people because I have a lot of connections, then I can do it too. I think it's nice to have that variation of experiences that are real grounded into the day-to-day operation.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I think the mini grid should be just as many as you want. It'd be really cool then. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Just a mini grid, though.
If there's from the technical side of you enough capacity, you know, Arthur, what do you think?
I think Arthur's having a small cardiac.
Yeah,
I mean, it's everything has
totally.
to do with capacity. You know, you cannot say, "Oh, we invite 1,000 people in my house." You know, it doesn't work. You
Arthur,
know,
explain to them how big the grid can go. Tell them, go on.
Yeah, maybe we can create groups like I think WhatsApp or Telegram inside the grid, and I think limited to 100 or 2,000 connections. I don't know, but it's totally possible, and you can adapt and adjust in the future for the numbers. So that's all. I think it's possible.
Awesome. Awesome.
Wow.
Can I just ask a question just about the privacy and the anonymity of the grid, that it doesn't collect information, it's anonymous, it's secure. But when we create a mini grid, so Arthur would, let's say, be user 007,001. That's all we know about Arthur, his approximate location, and that's it. We don't know anything else. But when he creates the grid, it will generate an identification code that he'll give to Jeff, and then Jeff will go into the grid and he'll basically type in the code, which will open his mini grid, and he'll see that there are now 2 people on that grid, and Jeff knows that it's him and Arthur because they have created it for themselves. And then we send it to Christopher and he joins, and we know it's 3 people. But we don't want to be collecting names of people. It's just going to show up in the same way that it broadcasts now, but you'll just see basically a change of text on the screen saying this is your own mini grid. But do you think we should allow people to type in a description of what the mini grid's being created for? You know, like, or do we just, do you know what I mean by that? Like, when the person joins the mini grid, they know.
I vote yes.
You think so? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I think the dots are important. I really like that. I know that before we've talked about that in the past, that they show up, but people really like seeing their dot
Yeah, it's
on the
true.
map when it's going. Yeah. And I think the option to remain anonymous, not put anything, or put like, you know, hey, this is a grounding grid today or whatever. I think that's you know, better than nothing if people choose. Like that would be, you know, bringing to people. Also inspiring, you know, like, hey, there's maybe like these, you know, and all you could, having the option of not having to do anything and keeping it private is great too. But that also might be nice. Like, hey, look at all the mini grids that people are making, and you have a list like, hey, here's one for grounding, here's one for heart, here's one for third eye, here's one, you know, for puppies, you know, whatever. I think that would be inspiring for people to then create their own,
Yeah.
just seeing what other people are doing.
You could do it as a healing grid. You
Yeah.
know, you could have different aspects of the healing grid. You know, 'cause
Yeah.
there's a lot of people who have prayer groups and stuff like that.
Right.
So kind of follow that kind of a format too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It's the same.
And the animal grid, because you know, everybody is in love with their pets.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like
Those are probably more popular than the human ones, to be honest.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
basically, when you open the grid, there'll just be an option somewhere at the top here to join or create your own mini grid.
The animals should be doing grids for the humans, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like we think we need to help them so much. It's like, hey, maybe maybe we should be listening to you more.
Yeah.
All our ideas and everything. Yeah.
So yes.
Maybe also, sorry.
No, go ahead, please, Maria.
But
many
I'm hearing good stuff.
There is a possibility to, yes, I want to be anonymous or not. You know, it's also up to the people. It depends on how precise the localization is, because, you know, me personally, I just don't want to be localized. I mean, I can be in Texas or in the US, but like, okay, you know, but it could be a localization through other criteria as geographical. You could localize people through I'm gonna say, but like favorite color, and then
Think, is
you know,
anybody else seen the bad line, or is it just me?
to create groups if you want to,
I
but
am as well.
do I want to be
Emma,
hello?
your line has gone really bad. It's like coming in and out. Maria, if you can hear. Yeah, it's really bad line. Um, which is a shame because I think you were just about to drop a gold nugget. Um, you're still on mute, but Gail wants to say something. Gail. No. Okay, that's cool. Maria,
Oh yes, I got close to
to the Wi-Fi.
to the thing. So I just was saying that um okay, so here's what came through. Like maybe there is a simplicity in the breathing, like that alone, like do you want to show up as an energy, like and be only quantum, like I am here as a point on the map and I'm going to breathe with you, like and I can almost telepathically know who is here, whatever. Or you want to make it more like an experience where you're going to meet in person, because I really personally, like I want to meet in person, like big time. Like actually, yes, there is the grid, but then there is also an experience on Earth that we're going all to meet somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
So there is this contrast, and I think that if the app is just energy, like I'm putting my energy, my heart with a bunch of people that I don't know. That's beautiful. That's one experience that I have, and I love. What if like there is also the option to meet somewhere under a tree?
Yeah. In fact,
So
actually, I would love to be under that tree with Christopher there. It looks amazing. Your tree looks incredible.
I like this tree.
Yeah, yeah, you can see you're very chill there. But yeah, Maria, I do agree. I do agree. And looking forward to seeing you in September. Should be cool.
Stephen, I totally agree with Maria that since since I met you last October, I've just been following the breadcrumbs, and I need that physical interaction with people.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm constantly looking for that.
yeah, yeah. I agree with you. You can't beat when you're around like-minded energy. To feel that beautiful feeling when everyone's together. Um. So yeah, okay, yeah. We'll look into physical meetups of the grid. I think it's great. But then actually, when you're creating the mini grid, that's a beautiful way for you to actually bring people together. To actually be part of a mini grid, but just using the application almost as the kind of way to do it, but you can still be in person. And then when you join as a group, you can have, let's say, up to 12 people. And thanks, TJ. Good luck. Talk to you soon. Thanks for the great feedback as well. Sorry, TJ's just saying goodbye. But yeah, maybe when people are joining as a group, that's another great way for people to actually, physically go, right, we're going to be meeting today at 11:11, six of us underneath that beautiful tree. So this is cool. Thank you. Um, what do you think about the growing of the grid? What do you think would stop people from using it? How do we introduce it naturally to people? Like, what's the things you think we could improve on the messaging to actually get people to go and install and use it? Like, we're very happy with the take up so far. It's brilliant. If it had have went any faster, I think it wouldn't have been as successful technically because we just wouldn't have been able to handle it. But now we're ready. How do we get it out to 1 billion people?
I don't think you want to rush it like that, but
A million, a million.
All right. All right. A quadrillion.
Virginia,
Um, so I think what's going to really benefit the whole thing is our time zones, having the option to choose our time zone, because that's what has stopped everybody so far with, I have family scattered all over the country and in different time zones and stuff, and friends in different places and that I've contacted, and they just said it's happening at the wrong times for them. And so getting their time zone thing, I think, is a perfect option for them because now we have them being a participant. And once they're in, then they can look at the option of building their own mini grids or the fact the more people we have in their time zone, especially if we go back to try the healthcare thing, there's going to be a specific time of day they'll want to use it. And not, I mean, the time zone is really important, but what is the possibility if you just want to do it at a time that's convenient? Like if let go back to this nursing facility and say that, okay, every morning at 10:30, not 11:11.
yeah,
This is when we have our group scheduled where they're going to play games or watch a stupid movie or something. Here's a chance to bring all these people into a healing mode by bringing them into their heart center. And so having to be able to choose, okay, we're going to just turn it on right now and hit the start button and make it happen. So
yeah.
that's another aspect that we could look at versus having the 11:11 part.
Okay, so then to expand that a little bit, you have right now two broadcasts a day linked to Central European time. If you're in China, it's just going to be late at night or early in the morning. But we now bring it into time zone specific. So, it's at 11:11 in your time. We then allow you to join at any time. You can join it at any time. And, there might be 5 people in there, or there might be 1,000 people in there, just basically, or sorry, we had called it the grid on demand, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
have the grid on demand. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's all very, very doable, Jeff. It's all like very easy to do. So I see Arthur's turned off his web camera so he can basically pull his hair out of his head.
But Stephen,
Yes.
to get more people, I remember last summer when you start the project and we had a little chat with my wife. We talked about the same question you had.
Yeah.
And I was, I know from my own experience, like the guy Dan Winter, everybody knows, I guess, Dan Winter here in the call, or most of the people. And he has like 60,000 followers at YouTube. And he's a brilliant guy. I mean, he has his way, sometimes, but if you would make a video with him and explain what you have done so far and who's involved, and people who are involved talk a little bit about it, and people who are using this talk a little bit about it, so that the call is really interesting.
Yeah.
A couple of thousand people will listen to that, and the content people at YouTube need content.
Yeah, and they need to see active engagement with it, otherwise they don't drive it.
Yeah, and and I'm in the spiritual field and know all these people. And I said, okay, this guy again, this guy again. No, what is the fresh face?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is the fresh face? And the fresh faces are people who are not known so much, but they have a clever thing and they can explain that. And this is not costly because you only have, he's around the corner.
Yeah.
In your case, it's not far away. I don't know how far away, but
he is maybe an hour away. And
Yeah.
like I have spoken to Dan a couple of times and he said he'd be more than happy to come on. I just wanted to
Yeah.
make sure it was perfect first. Do you know what I mean?
Of course. Yeah. And this is because you asked, so you get an answer. So,
Yeah, you're
so we
right.
have the same answer like last year in summer.
Contact that winter. Be grand.
No, it's only one. This is only one guy,
Yeah.
Then there are other people, even in the longevity community where I am, I wouldn't say part of it, but I'm on that road. There are people who are very much into meditation and inner work also. And if they say they have thousands of followers and people who are really the good guys, what I'm talking about, and tell them, we have something to offer and we have great content. This is new. It is now on the market. You can use it and things like that, So
Okay, that's
That would be a great thing. And then you see, then a couple of thousand people maybe will, or a few hundred, whatever will happen, and then it grows in a natural way. And to just to contact people, they're always happy to have good content, and
exactly.
especially to have fresh faces,
Yeah.
not always the same one.
Yeah. And I agree. And actually, you know what? If you haven't downloaded the grid, you can basically download it from the links on this page. Go and use it. And I think when people use it, they feel good. So that's probably the best sales pitch ever. And it's free and there's no ads, so like why would you not want to use it? And then hopefully when people start seeing the thousands of dots on the globe and the globe beginning to really light up, they'll feel this is worth doing again, so but yeah, Dan Winter, I'm really excited to talk to him. Actually, there's actually
Yeah, if you think you're ready now, I can be in the call if you want, and I explain something about the field and what is the field and how can you strengthen the field. So I'm willing to do that, of course.
Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you.
If I may, I would like to ask you, Stephen, what pushed you to create this, or what channeling did you manifest within yourself to start this? I'm just personally interested in the process, and I think I'm not the only one, who would be interested in connecting with the spark that took you
Yeah,
there.
of course. Yeah. And in fact, actually, the actual story of it is available, where it came from, which I will send you the links.
Okay.
There's a couple of ones, but it was mainly kind of born out of tragedy in many ways, like after my wife died, and it was a way for me to channel my grief into something beautiful and positive, like to descend into chaos, which I did, but I always found that, and it's such a cliche, but love is the answer, and it was really painful to me to remember the love, because when you're in the grieving process, you can't remember anything, otherwise you're going to break, so when I started allowing the feelings in, I felt this beautiful sense of peace and calm and loveliness. And, so I got this opportunity to build something, as, for her, actually. I actually built it for Jess, you know what I mean? Like, and, like it was built for her, and I spoke to her while I was building it. So it was like this beautiful thing where we were still kind of connected. But, like that, like, and then the spark came like through all of these magical meetings with all of these wonderful people, up on the hill of Ishnock, in the hill, in the center of Ireland, having these incredible epiphanies or conversations or, downloads about what if we all just switched on our light at exactly the same time, forget trying to put out this fire or that fire or deal with this or try to change this person's view on that you shouldn't be doing that to children, or like, instead of any of that, just switch on the light. And that then turned into something that started making sense, and then I had hundreds of conversations, like thousands of conversations with anybody who'd listen, just asking them, like, if you had the ear of 1 million people, what would you say to them? If you wanted them to come together and if you wanted them to connect to their own hearts and then expand. And nearly every one of them said love. It said love, and then I met all of these amazing geniuses here in the south of France, Christopher being one of them, by default meeting Jeffrey and Mike and Michael. And that's where I met Dan Winter, like completely randomly in the middle of the French mountains here, in the middle of the Pyrenees, these absolute geniuses from all over the world. And I had this idea going, how do we connect everybody together through love without sounding, too poetic or too spiritual or too religious or too, the things that turn everybody off. And then these people say heart coherence. and they explained to me the mechanics of heart implosion, and they showed me the heart's electromagnetic field, which are all things that every one of us can agree on. It's not about poetry. It's fact. And when you do breathing, and when you do 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, but now maybe 8 seconds in and 8 seconds out, there's like lots of different ideas around it. But 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, touch your heart. And this is a throwback to the people who lived in these mountains who were basically wiped out during one of the religious crusades that killed a lot of people in the area here, basically the Cathars. And, like during the Inquisition, like they would be identified by putting their hands on their heart, because this is the kingdom of heaven in here, if you want to go religious, but it's also the heart energy field. And so then they all showed me how to do it. And then combined with like hundreds of conversations around it, like we figured out this really simple process. Like when you listen to it, it's actually a process. We aren't asking you to take a leap of faith here. It's a process. It's a well-defined process, dressed with beautiful language and beautiful music. But if you follow it, it will help me. It does help me, and it will help you as well, because you don't have to believe anything. You know what I mean? And we like, so yeah, it was born out of tragedy. It saved my life, to actually do it. Otherwise, I don't know what I would have been doing. And then for all of these angels to show up and to start supporting it, like we work with so many amazing people. Like the guy who designed the UX, Adrian Revel. Like, you're saying it's a really simple UX. Like, he is a genius designer. He knew the simplicity is critical. When I said to him, maybe add some color, he was there. If you mention the word color, I'm going to leave. It has to be black and white. It has to be simple. Like, so we're just blessed by all of the people who are helping. And, so that's kind of where it came from. But now I'm really happy to say that the grid now needs to leave Stephen's arms. You know what I mean? It's still being maybe fed and nurtured by us all, but now it needs to go out into the world. And that's through making it open source. That's through, basically creating it so that it lives on, that it just becomes a movement that people will all take part in, So that's what we're doing now, is pushing it out into the world. I'll be very sad to see it go, but it needs to go out and put on its big boy shoes and head out into the world now.
Well, thank you so much for sharing this
You're very
your own spark, and everything. I think that alone, that energy alone, will draw and has been drawing all the right people around you, and it will continue to be so. I believe,
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you so much, and thank you for taking the time to come on the call as well. I really appreciate it. Christopher, you were going to say something?
That website I've just uploaded into the chat there. I've been following it for various reasons, but it measures coherence globally.
Oh, okay. Well, let me know.
There's about 400 of these random number generators dotted around the globe.
Yeah.
I was using it for a different reason, but it measures coherence, like John Lennon taught. All you need is love.
Yeah, I know, right? That is all you need, man.
I just thought it just reminded me of your website with the globe. They've got all these random number generators dotted around the globe measuring coherence.
Wow, yeah, that's amazing. Okay.
I'm not suggesting we need to measure love, but it can be measured.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know what? Like the people in the Heart Math Institute are doing an amazing job as well. Maybe they're gone a little bit too commercial now. Because maybe, and that's why the grid has to stay simple, because when you start adding things to it, you drive up the cost, and then then you might have to sell subscriptions. But we'll never do that. But they are good at measuring. And maybe this is another way, because I'm trying to figure out a way to simply measure. And I know you can put your finger on the back of your camera's flash and it will give you something, you know, in terms of your pulse, which could be linked to heart coherence. But I'm going to look into this, Neil, or Christopher. Thank you. It's amazing.
No problem.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll put it in the link as well.
I'll be having a look.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it is Heart Math, that, Stephen. Actually, it's Dean Ray. I'm part of their group. I join their meets occasionally with Dean Ray and then some other guys.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you. I think we'll actually reach out to them. Do you have contacts with these guys? Like, do you know them, or?
I can get in touch with them if need be.
Yeah, that'd be cool. All right, cool. Thank you. Wow. These calls are so cool. Thank you. Right, well, we'll keep it to an hour unless there's anything else anybody else wants to say, or if you have any suggestions on the theme of the next call, or do you think this was a good call, or like just before we say
Great.
goodbye? Yeah.
Really good. Yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you, Neil, my Coogee master. Maria, thank you so much. Jeffrey, thanks so much.
Thank you. And I'm really happy to be here. Honestly, it's an honor, and I'm all about
Welcome to the team.
Spirited endeavors.
Yeah.
Bye.
And sure. Ciao. Have a nice day. Bye, guys. Have a nice day.
See you later.
Talk to you soon.
Cheers.